Today, we have an incredibly powerful reading for you. Have you ever been having a tough time in your life and felt underestimated, and people around you took it as an opportunity to gossip and belittle? But their naysaying actually kind of propelled you forward, made you more willing to climb up that steep hill, take on the obstacles that presented themselves to you, and you became determined to rise above and leave all those who doubted you speechless. Well, this reading is all about your incredible journey of proving your worth and embracing your true power. Today, we'll be using the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot to gain some insight on your recent past, gathering details about what has led you to this very moment. We'll also get a feeling for the current energy and what's happening that you may not be fully able to recognize yet. And then finally, we'll take a peek at the upcoming energies to discover how you'll ultimately conquer your naysayers. But before we get to the full reading, I do have this special card for you, and that's the subscribe card. Subscribe for more readings like this. All right, starting off with the overall energy for this reading, these two cards are kind of showing us how you ended up getting here. You may have recently really suffered from quite a devastating loss. When we see the Five of Cups here, this person is completely focused on a loss, focused on the cups that have spilled over here. They've gone through something that, at least to them, felt really devastating. It may not be the end of the world to other people, but this person feels like they've really gone through it. So likely, it may have felt recently like life just hasn't been fair to you. Something you truly loved or cared about fell away in an unexpected way. So this could be the loss of a relationship, the loss of a work situation, the loss of a family member, or even a pet. But something's had you very caught in grief. Now, Five of Cups is also a reminder that all wasn't actually lost, even though it might feel that way. Notice how the figure is focused on these three cups that have fallen over, but there's two cups sitting behind the figure still full. There are still things in this person's life to be grateful for, to appreciate. It's just really hard to see it when you are in this energy of loss. Now, what's not helping the situation is this Page of Swords reversed energy. Page of Swords reversed is like kind of mean gossip sort of happening behind your back. This is the energy of friends or family kind of talking some nonsense about you and what you're going through, or simply friends and family just not being very empathetic about your situation, about the loss you're going through, not really holding space for you the way you need them to. So likely life has felt a little bit isolating right now, with you sort of going through a really tough loss and those around you not really supporting you the way that you've needed them to do so. Starting off this reading by looking into the past to understand where these doubts and struggles began. And it's interesting that we have the Six of Cups reverse come out first. So Six of Cups reverse is about returning home or some kind of homecoming here. I don't know if this loss has been so devastating that you may have actually had to move in with family. But something from your past is sort of holding you back in this situation when we see the Six of Cups reverse. Something from your past has returned to kind of make you deal with it, I feel like, once and for all. And having to go back either to a family home or to family members who don't always have your back, or to a situation or mindset that has kind of held you back before, it's really throwing off your intuition here with the Queen of Cups reversed. So Queen of Cups reversed is sort of the energy of codependence. It's where you're having to kind of like turn to others to get your emotional needs met. I think you're just in a really sensitive, tender place right now since you have been through something quite devastating. And you haven't had a lot of clarity. You've been looking for clarity, wanting to go forward in a direction. You've been asking the universe for signs, but you haven't really felt like you've gotten any. If anything, you've gotten just like signs from people saying things to you that probably they should just kept their mouth shut. Just very unempathetic energy headed towards you. So I think in the recent past, you may have just been kind of daydreaming the time away, trying to escape this kind of situation. This is a really tough one. And so I feel like you've been sort of just leaning into developing your own happiness, which is fine. And just kind of getting into your own mindset about, well, what is it that I would like to see happen from here on out? But I feel like people in your life are really doubting you. Like every time you kind of come up with an idea or something kind of hopeful for yourself and then you voice it, people are like, oh, there's no way that's going to be successful, right? I feel like you've got just some folks around you that are not being very supportive of you during this difficult time, unfortunately. And this is leading you to just want to escape, right? Go somewhere else, do something new, meet some new people. And I think you're right, actually, to do that, okay? I think you're right to want to explore new avenues, explore new relationships, explore just new places. Page of Wands to me is all about kind of just breaking outside of your comfort zone, doing something different, meeting new people, and going to new places. So stepping into the present energy here, we've got the Knight of Pentacles. I feel like you've made some progress, right? You want to kind of get away from, I feel like, some rather toxic energies in your life. Some people who have just been really kind of naysaying about you and really just doubting that you're able to kind of get yourself out of the situation you're in right now, or really just kind of be able to conquer the grief of this situation, this loss that you've kind of gone through. But the Knight of Pentacles here, this is someone that is taking slow and steady steps. I think you've been putting one foot in front of the other, trying to regain some independence here, making it so you don't have to rely on these naysaying folks much longer. Because following the Knight of Pentacles, we have the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is like the single, happy, and thriving card. Okay, this is someone that they have worked hard. They've put in the day in and the day out. They've been saving their pennies, and they've kind of built themselves up a nice little nest egg. This is someone who's learned how to feel good in their own energy with or without other people, okay? And someone who knows to kind of rely on their own resources. This is someone who's able to kind of pull themselves up by their bootstraps, for lack of a better term. But I feel like this is you just kind of little by little building up your own independence from people who maybe just aren't as helpful. You know, they really don't have your back when you're down. But this building yourself up slowly over time is actually bringing in a new energy for you. We've got King of Cups here. His archetype in the tarot is the benefactor. The benefactor is someone who wants to give to you. This is someone who sees your value, sees your worth, and wants to support what it is you're trying to accomplish here. This is masculine water sign energy, so they could be a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces literally, but it doesn't have to be. More important than that, this is someone who's very emotionally mature. And compared to, I think, what you've dealt with in the past, this is going to just feel like a breath of fresh air. This is going to feel like someone who is intellectually and emotionally stable and balanced. And I think gaining the support of this person or being able to welcome in sort of this new energy, this might be multiple people, honestly, this new sort of energy kind of coming into your life because you've been slowly sort of giving to you and building up your own sense of self-worth here. It's ending an old cycle where you let the opinions of others sort of determine what you would do next. And instead, you are really kind of just shaking them off your boots, okay? You're like, nah, buddy, I'm going to climb that mountain with or without you. And this is sort of the nature of changing vibrations, right? Like Five of Cups is a pretty low vibrational energy. It's usually for a reason, like we've gone through a loss, there's been something devastating in our life, but this is an energy of grief. But all of this is about stepping into a new vibration. Now, what happens when we step into a new, more positive vibration is old things tend to fall. Old cycles tend to cease to exist. And it's so that new cycles, new ways of being can be born. The World is the last card in the major arcana. It marks sort of the end of the Fool's journey. We start back all over with the Fool going on a whole new journey, taking a leap off the precipice. So you're just kind of closing out these old cycles, baby, and heading into the new. And not just heading into the new, but rushing there. So I feel like this has taken you some time, right? We started this off with Knight of Pentacles, sort of slowly building up your self-worth, slowly putting yourself back together again, feeling much more independent, much more solid, probably financially as well as just emotionally. And this is welcoming in some people who actually want to benefact you. They want to support you. They want to be a part of your life in a way that emotionally really feels right. So you're ending out these old cycles where you were dealing with some toxic folks before who really didn't have your back. That is creating a new vibration really, really rapidly here, right? You're going to see your life sort of just take off on a whole new, exciting, avenue, I think just really, really fast, is going to come probably in the next, when we see the wands, this is actually the fastest moving energy. I feel like you're going to see some of this action really happen within the next week or so. And what you're calling in here is people who are going to work with you rather than against you when we see the Three of Pentacles here. Now, the Three of Pentacles is one of my favorite cards, y'all. This is, to me, all about really collaborating with others, really building a solid foundation for the future, really creating something very beautiful. You see these three figures here building a cathedral, right? It takes forever to build a cathedral, or it did way back in the day, right? And so this is the kind of energy. This is like someone who is steady. This is someone who is interested in working for the long term, for the long haul. And I don't think it's just one person. I think it's specific that we're getting the Three of Pentacles here to kind of communicate this message. This is likely a group of people. So you're just welcoming in new people, new energies, because you are raising your vibration. So checking out what's coming up for you here, we have domestic bliss, okay? So the 10 of Cups is like one of the best cards, honestly, in the deck that you can get. This is all about happy home, happy family, finding soul family for sure here. I feel like in the upcoming future, you're going to be shocked at how happy you are, how at home and at peace you feel. And I just want to note that there's a lot of major arcana here. These are big changes that are happening here for you, okay? And I feel like part of this is you're going to understand why things had to happen the way that they did. When we see the Strength card, it does indicate we've been through something pretty tough. But notice how this woman is taming this lion, right? The lion is acting more like a big kitty cat that she's petting here. And it's because she learned how to deal with the tough emotions that come from people not showing up the way that you had hoped, from disappointment, from loss, from grief. Learning how to focus that energy, channel it in a way that it's helpful, right? That it's inspiring to us. So it helps us kind of get ourselves off our keisters a little bit and move in a positive direction, right? Helps us understand we went through this for a reason. It was so we could learn, we can grow, and we could call in the people and maybe family through friendship that are more aligned to us. And then we have the Judgment here. Now, the Judgment is all about soul alignment, right? This is about hearing a call and answering that call. Like, I feel like you get to this really peaceful place. Your life is taking off in a whole new direction. You've called in a new soul tribe. You have people around you who want to work with you. You can kind of see that you've been through what you've been through, so you can appreciate what it is you have at this very moment. And it's so that you can serve a greater purpose of some kind, right? I feel like you and the people around you are really working hard to create something new, right? To create a foundation, not just for yourselves, but for everyone around you, right? To me, the Judgment, it can even be like a soul calling, like to do some kind of charitable work. It can be all kinds of things, honestly, but it's something that's going to be incredibly meaningful to you. And I feel like it has to do with these new people that have kind of entered your life. Now, ultimately, I think what's going to happen when you do kind of get into this energy, so this is a little bit of a heads up, when you get into this energy and you're successful and you've got kind of new people around you and you've heard this call and you're really kind of putting out good into the world and positive vibrations, you've really leveled up on your vibration. I think that's when you're going to see some of these people from your past actually kind of come in and be like, oh, well, I always knew you could do this. And Spirit's telling you, not so fast. With the Hanged Man here. So the Tower reverse is all about, not wanting to allow that tower to fall away. And it's well and good. If you don't want to cut people, particularly if this is family, if you don't want to cut people off completely, that makes perfect sense. But the Hanged Man here is reminding you, take a pause, right? Watch what people do, not just what people say when they return to your life, okay? Take a moment. And they don't necessarily, while you can kind of keep up relations with people, they don't necessarily have to be a part of your everyday world, right? You don't necessarily have to welcome them back in with open arms. Regardless of whether or not you do, Spirit is kind of advising you or telling you sort of take a pause here. But I think ultimately you are heading into a whole new era where we are focused on just being good to ourselves here and focused on just so much abundance and so much goodness. With the Queen of Pentacles, this is the archetype of the good mother. She knows how to care for herself, care for her home, care for her family, and care for everyone around her. So I think this is you really feeling good in your own energy and feeling abundant and things just kind of flowing to you and feeling much easier as you go into the future. This is more of a spiritual path, life path type of reading. And so I wanted to get some oracle messages here for you just to kind of confirm what path we're heading down and what's really happening here. And we got some confirmation here. Remember what I said about feeling kind of codependent, like you had to go outside yourself to others to kind of feel like you're valid or something like that. But the people around you kept kind of disappointing you again and again. So this is what this card is all about. It's all about setting those boundaries, those energetic boundaries, and understanding that happiness really is going to come from within. It can't come from an external source. And so part of it is, that turning to others in that manner, like they're going to make you happy, that's a little bit misguided. But also I feel like it's about setting boundaries with those who don't really truly have your back, right? Who aren't truly able to care for you and be there for you in the tough times as well as the good times. And I feel like that's part of, unfortunately, what you've discovered recently, that the people you had in your life were just not the most reliable sort. And this certainly has forced you into this deep healing period here with this deep cellular healing. This is a card about raising your vibration, just like we saw with the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. This is a card about really taking the low vibration you're in. So if we're in that sort of energy of grief, and transmuting and transforming that energy into a more positive energy, and doing that using that Knight of Pentacles, right? Just one step at a time, doing something every single day to kind of work towards our goals, work towards our desires, make our reality different than what it is. You are the habits that you create for yourself. And I think that's what you're in the process of doing right now. You're in the process of creating all of those habits and really changing your vibration, changing who you are from the inside out. This is tough, tough, tough work, but you're doing it. And that means you're going to get an opportunity to be a leader like I don't think you even realized you could be, okay? So there is so much abundance and love and good people kind of headed your way. I just feel like you're going to forge a whole new path here. You are going to be the kind of person that shows up for others the way you would wish others would show up for you. You're going to show up that way first for yourself. And then others who also show up in that way are going to be attracted to you, come into your life, and you are actually going to build with them that solid foundation that we saw there in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. So this is quite the glow up that you're going through right now. Please do let me know in the comments how things are going for you and how this sort of progresses for you. I love to hear about it. Also, if you wouldn't mind, please liking the video and subscribing to the channel. It's a huge, huge help to this channel's growth. Well, and also I hope you'll kind of stick around for this next reading right here. And thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I do my best to get to as many comments as possible and respond to each of you. I just want to thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time.